Hello and welcome to Who You'd, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. I am one of your hosts, Cameron, and I am here today with my co-host Ben. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing good. Got work in a bit, which is the opening of Fantastic Four. I expect that'll be
Mm.
busy.
I
Plus
got
some other
tickets tomorrow to go see it.
for tomorrow.
So yeah,
I'm probably gonna check it out this weekend.
because it's me and Ryan gonna go see it tomorrow.
How you
We're
going
gonna go
with
see a concert
Ryan?
because we're gonna go see a concert tomorrow, and right next to the concert is a movie theater.
So you're gonna
So
go early and see it?
it's a very nice movie theater. It's like the AMC, it's kind of like the AMC of Boston, right? So it has Dolby and IMAX and all that stuff.
Can you go
So
see
we're
it
just
in
gonna go see it.
IMAX?
We're gonna go see it in Dolby. So Matt's reaction to that's not gonna be good when he sees Ryan's review. That Ryan
Oh,
saw it
Ryan is
before
gonna
him.
hate it no matter what. I feel maybe you have a chance of liking it.
I like Superman, so like I don't know.
Superman, I feel like, is the exception. Like Superman was really damn good. And I
Yeah.
don't think Fantastic Four is gonna meet up to that standard from 2 weeks ago. Even if it's Fantastic Four is pretty good, I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star movie.
Yeah, but I also
I'm
I'm
sure
not.
Matt will rate it 5 stars, just like he rated Superman 5 stars. But
But also, I wouldn't rate Superman 5 stars. But then I also again I don't know if this is it's not I'm probably the expectations is not going to be as good as Superman. But I'm just hoping it's going to be better than the past couple of Marvel movies I've saw, which was like I
did you
think the
see
last one I saw was Doctor
Thunderbolts?
Strange. No, I did not see Thunderbolts. I've heard that
Oh,
actually
that
supposed to
one
be
was
good.
actually not bad. Pretty good even.
Um,
Captain America is terrible.
I heard. I one day I need to just do a catch up, but it's just bad because it's like, oh, I have to watch like Ant Man, Quantumania, and I have to watch, like you said, Captain America, Brave New World, and a bunch of TV shows. I'm so behind on the Marvel stuff, man. I
Mhm.
think I think the same as almost everybody in the world is kind of like,
Yeah, I'm I'm movie caught up, but I'm TV show behind. I still haven't watched Ironheart. I haven't watched Born Again because I haven't watched the Netflix shows. I'm watching Luke
mm.
Cage right now. Then I gotta watch Iron Fist. Then Daredevil season 3. Then Punisher season 2. Then Jessica. The way of release order I do for everything, and it makes things challenging sometimes.
Which of course leads into today's episode. Of course, in this podcast, what we do is every week we watch a new episode of Doctor Who. We started with Spearhead, even though that Ben started with Unholy Child, but the podcast started
Yes.
with Spearhead from Space, and we've been going episode by episode through 70s Doctor Who, and now we're on to the 80s Doctor Who. This is kind of in a way the first episode of the 80s, even though it's not the first episode transmitted in the 80s, but this is kind of like the first of the 80s era, just because it's the
I mean,
first produced by John
essentially,
Nathan
I would
Turner.
say.
Of course, I'm talking about the episode Leisure Hive. Before I just wanted to say the episode's name before we get too much into it, Ben.
Mm.
So Ben, what were you gonna say before I cut you off?
I was gonna say, I think it is the first one in the 80s. Technically, um, Horns of Nimon, the last one or two were in 1980, January. Shadow would have been in 1980, but that, of course, never came out.
Mhm.
So this is the first 1980 episode.
So yeah, this transmitted August 30th, 1980 through September 20th. Produced first. This is the first episode produced by John Nathan Turner. Of course, John Nathan Turner kind of rose up the ranks of the BBC, and in particular Doctor Who. Started as like let me look it up right now. Started as a part of the floor crew in Space Pirates, and then worked himself up to an assistant floor manager on the Pertwee era, and then some of the Fourth Doctor stuff. And then eventually during the Graham William era, went up to being unit production manager. So it kind of makes sense that they got him to be like a someone with experience, and especially experience with Doctor Who, giving them the title of giving them like the producer title of the show.
Mhm.
At the time of him taking the show, he was 33 years old, so he was pretty young, which is kind of like for New Who. That's kind of was not New Who for Classic Who. That was kind of always a thing that most of the time the producers for Doctor Who were on the younger side, of course. Uh, like Hinchcliffe and Graham Williams were both, I think, they were both like in their 20s or early 30s. So,
Mm.
and of course, I think Rarity Lambert was like, I think she was like maybe 18, 19, early 20s, not 18, 19, but probably early 20s. So like, she was very young. But yeah, so of course, John Nathan Turner gonna be in it for a long time, Ben. We have
Yes. Up until Survival.
8 years of Doctor Who to cover of John Nathan Turner's run, so we're gonna be talking a lot about him. I think it's probably good to just not notice, but like good to note that there is some controversies with John Nathan Turner. That some people have had allegations about sexual harassment in not harassment, but like what's the correct term, Sven? Sexual harassment is like more like what's rape?
Sexual assault?
Sexual assault, yes, he has been accused, has had accusations of sexual assault. So I just wanted to bring that out there that he has some fans have come out saying that they were abused. I think that it would be kind of not fair to be talking about him so much and never bring that up on the show. But just wanted to note that we are aware. So yeah, going on from there, this is also at this point Barry Letts was brought in as executive producer of the show. He's going to be the executive producer for the rest of season 18. uh
Okay.
I believe he was just brought in there just to give like some type of like somebody with more knowledge of the show and to like help out John Nathan Turner, because of course this is John Nathan Turner's first time as a producer of a show. So maybe I believe he was brought in just to give him some give them some expertise on on how to do the job. And of course, one of the things that John Nathan Turner comes in the show and kind of does a big change for the show. It kind of has a big statement of being like, I'm going to make the show less campy. Well, campy, but like less humorous. That's like the big thing. Of course, the Graham Williams era had a lot of humor,
Mhm.
and kind of just in this first episode you can see that a lot of that it was just taken out of the show. That's something that we're gonna have to discuss later on. But yeah, that and I would say that the lack of humor and then also the change in score is the two biggest changes that
Oh,
you can
yes.
just notice right away. As John Nathan Turner as producer brings in uh
Should we
Peter Howell as the composer of both this episode and the new theme song.
should we
So,
talk about writer and director
well, yeah,
first?
I was just talking about John Nathan Turner first, and
Okay.
then I was going to
Because
transition
like, I definitely
into
wanna talk more about the music, but I don't know
yeah. Well,
if
let's
now is the time.
okay, and then he brings in Christopher H. Bidmead as the script editor for this first season. He goes on to write what does he write? He writes Logopolis, he writes Casanova, and writes Frontiers. Yeah, Robert Banks Stewart recommended him for the job, and then Christopher H. Benede also wrote a big French play, so there's that to look forward to.
Cool.
Well, I actually wrote a couple. Yeah, and then written by David Fisher,
Mhm.
which is kind of makes sense. It's like you want somebody for your first episode as producer, like kind of is a little bit knowledgeable on the show. He wrote 2 episodes in season 16 and then like one and a half stories for season 17. So you're gonna want somebody that's a little bit experienced, and as well as he brings in Levitt Bickford as the director. Also, good to point out that Christopher H.B. Mead got hired after David Fisher was hired. so didn't have. So, like a script editor, of course, would have more involvement with a script from beginning to end. But this one was one that Christopher H. Bemede had more involvement in the script in the midway point.
Mhm.
All right, Ben. Do you want to get into the episode? Or do you want to talk about the titles? Because the titles comes before the episode
Yeah,
begins.
let's talk about we have a new set of titles accompanied by a new theme. First one, or first, a different one. I'm struggling in a way to word this. First new one since the 1960s.
It's the first big theme that's not done by what's her name? Delbia. I'm having a
Delia
blank on.
Derbyshire.
Yeah, it's the first one that's not done by her. And it's a big departure. It's they did do that one for the third Doctor. I forget what episode they did for, but it's a terrible, terrible version of the theme.
The Delaware theme, which had all the sproings,
Yeah, which is terrible.
which I think was only like the first part of Carnival of Monsters was originally broadcast with that. But other than that, it's been basically the same thing since the Macra Terror. And even that wasn't that too much of a digression from the original one since Unearthly Child. But this is a big difference. Still a lot of like the same kind of motifs, but very different.
Well, the big thing is it's synthy.
Yes.
Like it's not like the Radiophonics Workshop style. It's just like the man with the keyboard.
Yeah. So what do you think of it?
I like the Peter Howell theme. Um, it's not my favorite iteration of the theme, but it has an aspect to it that I enjoy. I have enough nostalgia for this theme as I do for others. Uh, Let me just listen to it again real quick. I do love this iteration, the ooby oo. The ooby oo sounds
Yes.
like it sounds very cool. Like there's not really any other adjective I could use except for just it sounds cool. It sounds very 80s.
Hmm.
And it
Yeah.
makes sense for like it makes sense of like what you want to make the show fit the current time. This is the thing that you would do for the 80s and it fits that era.
Agreed. And to say my thoughts, yeah, I also quite like it. It's hard to beat how iconic the previous version of the theme was from seasons 4 to 17, which is crazy long to have it. Uh, but I think this one is also really good. Uh, my father, after listening to the last 10 seasons of this one, he said he likes this better, like right away.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's better per se, but it's good. It's definitely sets a new tone for things.
I would say that my one complaint with it is that it's not. I love it when the Doctor Who theme is a little scary. I don't think this one has that scare factor to it.
Yeah. It's a little more
Uh,
sci-fi and less mysterious.
yeah, that's a perfect way to sum up the Peter Howell theme. Uh, and if we can transition over to the titles, I think the titles is fine. It's I like it more when it's like the Doctor the TARDIS going through the vortex. With this, it's just kind of like it's space and stars, and it's like going through space. It doesn't do it for me, and also
I don't like the
I feel
face
like
that Tom makes. He is a very like, "Oh, you just caught me." I'm making he's not like
yeah.
smiling. I feel like he should be smiling. He's just
No,
kind
it's
of
kind of like it's kind of like the photo got taken like he smiled and then they thought the picture was done and then they took the picture right like a couple seconds after they thought the photo was already taken.
yeah. That's
You
a
just kind
perfect
of
way
go,
to
why in
describe
my
it.
hair? And it kind of describes kind of like that era of the show, this era of the show for Tom Baker of just him not wanting to be there.
Yeah. I've seen the fifth and sixth Doctor versions of this, and I think the face they make is much more suited. I'm gonna retract that
But also, it's
statement. But
what statement you're retracting?
that the other two guys' faces is better. I'm looking at Peter Davison's now, and he also looks kind of uninterested. It's like a slight smile.
It's a little bit. It's better. It's a little bit like mysterious.
Let me look at the sixth Doctor.
I like that Colin's smiling. Colin's happy to be there.
Yeah. The sixth Doctor, I think I like. Like, he has two faces, which the other two don't. Collins,
Yeah.
he has like a slight smile, and then you catch him, and he has a big grin on his face. So I feel like it should be more like that, maybe. I don't know. Fifth Doctor,
But what do you
fine
think of
for
like the more? Yeah,
all the
you go.
space.
Yeah, what do you think of all the space?
It's fine. Um, it'll make give me some more work to do for our thumbnails and short backgrounds and stuff.
I don't
It's
like. We still haven't had that discussion, but
uh quickly having the discussion for season 18. I think I'll change the title font on the thumbnails, but I'm
yeah,
gonna keep the diamond. I'm gonna keep the blue
yeah,
background like we kept the same red for season 11,
yeah.
and want to keep for season 19. I want to keep the diamond. Maybe I can make the diamond a little bit more neon.
But like, because I don't think the diamond is necessary to be because like since the logo is now the diamond again,
I
I don't think
would
that's like
ideally like to keep the diamond all the way through,
yeah.
but maybe I can make it look more neon and round or something. I
But
don't know.
the shorts background is the big one
And the thumbnail background.
because
I'll
that
have to
one's
think
gonna be
about that more.
like for like how hard would that be to do in Blender? Do you have any experience in Blender?
Uh, no,
Could you do that in Unreal?
maybe I could do it in Unity. Unity is what I know how
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. Unreal, you know, Unreal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the difference, man. Uh,
I'll
but
look into it.
because
Setting
I
that
like
aside,
in my head, right? It doesn't seem like it would be the hottest thing in the world just because it's like it's it's just a black space with white dots,
coming
you know,
towards you.
coming towards you. So it's like that doesn't sound like the hottest thing in the world if you know a little bit about like a 3D program.
No, I was thinking that
Um,
going into it, I've been thinking, oh, do I need to learn Blender, or do we steal somebody's on YouTube? But I could do it in Unity in a couple hours, I think.
uh,
So I'll get back to you on that.
okay.
Anyway, we also have a new logo that is featured here.
Oh yeah.
What do you think
Uh,
of
I don't.
this new logo?
It is fine. I don't love it. It's not my favorite Doctor Who logo. I miss the diamond. The diamond is probably my favorite logo of all of Doctor Who.
I think
Um,
it could potentially fit this 80s as well.
yeah, it's stuff. It definitely does have an '80s factor to it, just with like the font.
Yeah. And it feels more sci-fi.
But I do
Um,
love. I love the diamond, and I love the font of the third Doctor era. So this one is just this one doesn't hit as close to home as those other two
yeah.
of the '70s era.
Still good though, and it's better
All right, Ben,
than
it's been.
Seventh Doctors.
I love the Seven Doctors, but that's
You
just me.
do?
Oh yeah, I love that. I love the titles for the Seventh Doctor.
The titles is fine for the seventh. I don't like the music though.
I love it. But I have nostalgia for the Seventh Doctor. But anyways, Ben, this might be one of the longest episodes that we've had before getting the actual episodes. 24 minutes in, with before editing. Ben, what did you think of the Leisure Hive?
I had really low expectations going in. I like to peek ahead at some of the letterbox scores and like, oh, how's it doing on the polls? Which maybe I shouldn't do. Maybe it's better to go in blind. But in this case, I was pleasantly surprised. I know you had previously said you liked it. I don't know if that's changed or not. Um, but I liked it. I think the vibes and the atmosphere are the best part here. I think the Peter Howell score is doing a lot of heavy lifting in the enjoyment factor here. Because I was making notes earlier. When I kind of break it down, like the plot and the characters, there's not a lot here that's exemplary, but I don't know. Something about it, it feels greater than the sum of its parts. And it might just be that the tone and the style is so different after months and months of Graham Williams, and this feels like a breath of fresh air. And that if I watched this in 4 months, I would be like, yeah, this is not good. But this feels so different and so new. I really enjoyed it.
I am similar to you. Like I said, I watched this before. I remember liking it before, and I'm pretty similar. Of like, I like it. I don't love it, but I still like it. Uh,
Yeah,
it is just kind of like what you said. It's a brush of it's a brush of brush of it's completely it's a brush of fresh air. Is that, am I saying that statement correctly? I feel like I'm
breath.
fucking up a word. Breath of fresh air. That's what I said. Breath of fresh air. Like it it has some elements of the story that I don't think particularly work, and there's some parts of that that I think is does hurt the story of it trying to be so different from the last era. In particular, like I mentioned earlier, the sense of humor just being completely just non-existent does hurt the
Yeah,
story a bit. It's trying to really be science fiction, and that is a it's a great change from the more comedy fantasy science fiction of a Grams William era. I remember last season, The Nightmare of Eden, being surprised of like and refreshing of how much that is was leaned more science fiction, and this one's way even more science fiction than that. I feel like the story, one of my problems with it is that I think it takes a little bit to kick in. I enjoyed the second half of the story more than the first half of the story once we get
mhm,
more of the reveals and more of actually like the plot starts moving, and
yeah.
it becomes more about like the 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 I forget his name.
Pengol,
I'm always terrible with names. What?
Pengol.
Yeah, more becomes Pengo wanting to take over and have an army of themselves, and then we get more of the other side involved with it too. And the stakes are more clearly
Yeah.
presented to the audience. I much more enjoy that half of the story. But before we get into the actual more of the story, let's just start off with the beginning of the story, because the beginning
Oh,
it's it sets off the tone of this era. It's where is it again? Then Brighton Beach.
mhm.
Are you aware of Brighton Beach, Ben?
Uh, it is a beach, presumably in England,
In Brighton, Ben.
in Brighton, even. Yeah,
But yeah,
but is
it
it?
it, it looks. It looks gorgeous,
Oh, yeah. Abs It looks very pretty.
but it's very funny that so it
In
starts off with
the
Romana playing fetch with K9 with a beach ball, and then the beach ball accidentally goes into the water, and K9 just is a robot, so he's just like, I need to get the ball. And somehow the K9 can't have any water damage, so it goes into the sea,
and
it
it just
just
commits
explodes.
suicide. Yeah.
And then we cut at that moment to Lala Ward screaming, "No, K9!" And then like I feel like you can tell that this isn't the first time she's done this because like in her eyes you can see like a strain that she's had. This is not the first mistake. She is like emotionally like wiped out at this point. She has had
Uh-huh.
to scream this multiple times. Did you get that as well, Ben? In that close up?
Uh, I didn't pick up on that.
Well, that's what I get when during that close up, and it's very much it's very meta because especially as again John Nathan Turner
Oh,
is coming at it from the unit production like as no what was it again? What was his exact title?
I just find it really funny in the first 3 minutes of him as producer, K9 commits suicide and blows up, and he's not for the rest of the story in it.
But like you have to imagine as the production unit manager, this thing has probably been a pain in his ass for 3 years. This thing has not worked. This thing, the actor had to get changed.
Yeah,
He would
John
always
Leeson,
have to
I think,
figure out
is
how to
back
get
here for, like,
yes.
his 2 lines, and
It would have to figure out how to get K9 if he can't if it's location shooting, he has to figure out how to get K9 to that location. Like this has just been a pain in his life, and his decision 3 minutes into as producer is just to kill it.
do you think this is him venting his frustration?
Oh, most definitely. Do you not think so?
Probably, yeah.
Uh, and then of course this whole entire sequence, Tom is asleep basically in his chair. We don't really see his face because he's in his new costume and he has uh his new hat on.
Yeah.
And then eventually Lila cuts to him, and then he kind of wakes up. For as much as Tom does this story, because Tom is not really in this story at all. So before we get to Tom in the story, Ben, let's talk about his costume.
Yeah.
What do you think of the season 18 costume? Because it's divisive among the fan base. Of you either hate it or you love it.
Hmm. I think I'm in neither camp. I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as his previous outfits. Like, I think Hinchcliffe era, I think, is still his best outfits. But this one is still good. It's definitely gives him a different kind of tone. I don't know. It makes him feel older, if that makes sense. Less
Oh
colorful,
no, it
less
definitely makes
flashy.
sense. It like you said, I think it makes him feel older than he is. It looks like it feels like the jump from season 8, 17, 18 was like multiple years.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't love it. It's I think that like it's a good I think it's a good change in overall of I think it's a good change in John Nathan Turner's perspective of like, all right, I need I have this show, I have this main character, and this actor is iconic for this role, but I want to do something different with them. Let's do it more and like give him basically have this multicolored doctor just have be in one color. And I think that the maroon is maroon the color, Ben? Would you say maroon, or is this
Uh,
like a different type of red?
in my mind, I was thinking scarlet, but maroon, yeah, like a deep
I'm not a color
red.
guy, Ben,
I
but
think maroon would be accurate, yeah.
But
Um,
it's I think it's a choice that makes sense from a producer standpoint.
Worst part though, he still has. Well, what's the point of having a scarf if it's just red? Like the
But all right, let's
multicolored
get to
scarf is like the whole point.
let's get into that then. So there was Tom Baker was mad about two changes about it. Um, yeah, well, he was mad about a couple of the changes that that John Nathan Turner made. He was mad about the title sequence. He didn't like the new title sequence. He didn't like the new like theme song. He thought that him and Lila both thought that the theme song should stay as it was. He didn't like the new synth version of it. Um, and then since I'm on that topic, anyways, Lila didn't like that they removed all the humor. Um, but the big thing about his costume was that he didn't like the fact that the that of course now this is the beginning of the 80s costumes having the question marks. Did you notice the question marks this story?
Uh, y-
It's
I
kind of
remember
hidden
noticing
by the
them.
scarf.
Is it like a tie? No.
No, it's in the collar.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, on his like lapel.
Yeah.
Is that the
Which
word?
of course is
Lapel.
something that John Nathan Turner will do for the fifth and sixth Doctor, and then really goes overboard with the seventh Doctor. He very much loved the he was a flamboyant dresser of like big Hawaiian shirts, John Nathan Turner. So it's just kind of like that just carried over to the Doctor of like he just wanted the Doctor to like he would dress as how like he is, which would be he's mysterious. He's Doctor Who. It's a question mark, like, and he's
Yeah.
gonna have question marks on his costume. It's dumb, silly, and campy, and I personally have had a journey throughout my life as a Doctor Who fan of ups and downs of liking it or disliking it. At the moment, I like the question marks. It's dumb and silly, and I think it's amusing.
Mhm.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's I mean, I'll have to develop my opinion as we go through the doctors and their outfits. Is it basically this like one outfit per doctor? Are there many changes?
No, most of the Doctors have the same costume.
Like Colin
Fifth
has
Doctor
like a
changes his.
blue one, right? Or is that
Oh
in
yeah,
extended media?
no, that he has a well blue. He has a blue cloak in one of the episodes, but then in expanded media, he has a blue version of his costume, which a lot of fans say that like that's what the one probably costume he should have had. But
Versus the more patchwork design.
yeah, and then the Fifth Doctor change like there's minor changes throughout the seasons. Like they change like Fifth Doctor's pants gets changed, the waistcoat of the Sixth Doctor gets changed, and then the coat of the Seventh Doctor gets changed. But for the most part, the 80s Doctors kind of have the same similar look to them.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'll have to develop my opinion as we go on. Just, right now it's pretty minor. Conceptually, I think it could be fine. I don't know. We'll have to see.
And then going back to the scarf, basically Tom wanted the old multicolored scarf, but then the costume designer June Hudson basically the scarf that we got was a compromise of June Hudson and John Nathan Turner. John Nathan Turner didn't want the scarf at all. June Hudson was able to convince him to do this type of scarf, which didn't have the multicolored scarf. So basically, Tom understood that, like, okay, it was this scarf or no scarf, so I'll take this scarf.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's good there's a scarf at all. I feel like the scarf is one of his kind of tools other than his sonic screwdriver. such an iconic part of his look.
Yeah. It would be weird if we had one season of Fourth Doctor with no scarf. But anyways, since we're talking about Tom Baker, Ben, what did you think of Tom Baker this serial?
I thought he was good. Um, I there's definitely less humor here. Still, I mean, I can't recall any specifically, but I feel like there were at least a couple jokes. Um, but I mean, the Doctor and Romana's chemistry was good as usual. Their interactions. Uh, I maybe sensed a little bit of like it's time to move on. A little bit of not as into it, but still, not half-assing it.
I disagree, Ben.
You
I
think he's
think that
half-assing it?
this is the first time where Tom Baker is fucking clocked out. This is a terrible performance by Tom. He is so just like the charisma has gone and left the station. He does not want to be there. He is just like he's playing it so seriously and so just dull. Like it's missing that charisma,
Yeah.
which I don't think is helped by the script doesn't have as many jokes as let's say even like Robert Holmes in the Hinchcliffe era, but like I don't know. I just get a sense he's not giving it his all. This story, uh, according to Titus Wiki, during this production, let me see it. Tom Baker was unwell following a long trip from Australia, and his mood was further affected by a downturn in his relationship with Lala Ward, which is very funny because remember they get married after this, so
Uh,
they had a rough patch before they even got married, and then they got married. That marriage, of course, did not last very long. Uh, so basically both of them refused during this production to one another, and
you
he was
cut
just
out for a second
unenthusiastic.
there.
Basically they weren't on speaking terms during the production, Lala Ward and Tom Baker, and as well as there was a little bit of hostility between him and John Nathan Turner just because he didn't really like the changes that the producer was making. So this kind of leads, I think, to Tom's performance just being kind of like, all right, I'm kind of this is I'm gonna leave the show soon.
Hmm. Is that why the Doctor and
As
Romana are apart for a lot of this?
which I did notice that like the Lala I thought that since that's a good transition to Lala. I thought that Lala Ward was good at this story. This proved that like she can do that Douglas Adams humor of last season, but like this episode proves that like she can do the serious side of the world too.
Yeah.
That like I feel like when she is in command and when she is in danger, she is great.
Ooh,
Like I
you
much
keep
more
cutting
even though this
out.
was a much I keep on cutting out. Maybe it's
Or like your whole screen froze for like
interesting.
2 seconds.
Might be my internet just going funky. But anyways, let me know if that happens again.
Yeah,
I thought that Lala Ward was really good this episode. I thought she was able to do the serious part of the role pretty well. What do you
agreed.
think of Lala Ward this episode?
Yeah, I thought she was good. Um, Definitely continuing to show some serious like passion and independence. Um, in many ways, she's more important to the plot here than Tom is.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
agree.
like she's helping the scientist Hardin, and Doctor just kind of screws around. And um, but yeah, she's good. I liked her. I'm hoping more of her this season is similar because the last couple, excluding Shada and City of Death, those in between the two, she hasn't really
Yeah,
given the proper room to shine like I feel like I know she can.
I agree. We will see. So usually I like to mention when the ratings are particularly notable at the beginning of the story. Um, but we never talked about them because it's just so much information to talk about at the beginning of the story for this one. So I'm just going to mention it hairband before we get on to the side characters of the story. The ratings of this story. This is the first time in Doctor Who where the ratings plummet. Uh, Basically, the reason for this is that on ITV, Buck Rogers from America was on. Have you heard of Buck Rogers before, Ben?
I recognize the name. I couldn't tell you who it is though.
It's just it is a American uh, TV show that's similar to Battlestar Galactica. That was a TV equivalent, not TV equivalent, but a TV show that was a result of basically Star Wars and Star Wars being in the minds of people and wanting science fiction, not just in the movie theaters, but at home. So Buck Rogers is one of those. So of course, it was hard for Doctor Who to compete because that had American financing and American special effects, where you had Doctor Who and you had like this story in particular. You have a pretty not great special effects monster.
Mhm.
So it's hard for a Doctor Who to compete with some type of a big scale American production, you know? So remember last season, like we were still in the double digits, and this season it drops down to part one got 5.9, part two got 5, part three also got 5, and part four got 4.5. I wouldn't be surprised if part four might be the lowest of the show overall by that point. Uh, I think that uh, I think in Clever Dick's films video of the Fourth Doctor, he also said that like a contribution of the slower ratings this season was also like you have to imagine that this is like the first time where uh you have like more than one TV in a household. So a show like Doctor Who that was more family oriented that the whole family could watch doesn't really need to be there because dad and the kids can be both watching what they want to watch on two separate TVs. So it's not like the family overall has to make a decision what to watch on the TV. I think
Oh.
also at the same time, like the television and like the other video games was entering the home markets, so that was also competition. So there's not the factors that resulted in this serial, and this season overall having low viewing figures. Also, probably doesn't help that Tom has been in the show for so long at this point that there's probably a little bit of just I've seen that before, you know.
Yeah, it is on the decline.
Right, Ben.
Should we talk about the music?
Oh yeah, we can talk about the music. What did you think of Peter Howell's score in this?
I thought it was really great. Brings, I think it contributes a lot to this story feeling more grand and dramatic and emotional than it probably really is. Really enjoyable to listen to. Very different as well from Dudley Simpson, which I know this kind of era is not just one guy. There's a lot of shuffling around, but I hope it continues in this more different direction going forward. What did you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's very much it still fits the show. It's not like sometimes listen to the sometimes we listen to some of the scores and we're like, I forget who's the guy who did Death to Daleks and not Robots of Death, Death to Daleks and Revenge of the Cybermen. But we were both like, this score is awful and does not fit Doctor Who at all. It's very too silly. Where I feel like Peter Howell does understand what the show needs. The synthesizer sound does fit this era of the show very much. And yeah, that like, I don't have much to say except for it does fit the story. There's not any memorable moments of like, oh my god, the music really stood out for me there, but it does fit.
I'm listening to little snippets right now. There, I it's I'm can't remember what it coincides with, but there's some good good music.
All right, Ben.
Yes.
Let's go to the Argolians first. What do you think of the Argolians?
Interesting.
But all right. Let's before we get because like I think that's a good. Before you get into it, Ben, I'm going to interrupt you there. Just to go back to the story overall. Uh, I think that's a good way to talk about the story. Well, now we're going to get into the deep of it. Now, this story has a lot of interesting ideas in it.
Yeah.
The war between the Argolians and the Formasi, and this whole the planet that they're living on, and like the fact that they are like infertile because of this. Like it's all fascinating stuff. And then of course they talk about the
Generator, yeah.
tachyon generator a lot. Tachyon is a word that like if you took a shot every single time they said the word tachyon, you would be dead by the time you finish this story.
Every time they say it though, I just think of it in Star Trek where it means something very different. Like, do you know what a Star Trek tachyon particles is?
No, what is that?
It's particles that are I couldn't tell you the dictionary definition, but it's always related to like time travel. Like, oh, Captain, we're detecting tachyon particles in the area. Oh, there's a wormhole that goes back to the 1900s, you know. It's always in that kind of context. Um Actually, I might be thinking of chronoton particles. I don't know. But it means something different. And I keep thinking of
No,
the
I'm
Star
looking.
Trek
You got it right. I'm looking at the top. I'm looking at the Star Trek wiki. They're saying that it has to do with faster than light velocities and have to be associated with time travel. So you are correct.
I shouldn't have doubted myself.
Your
I know
your
Star
nerd
Trek.
card did not get your nerd card did not get taken away today, Ben.
And this has nothing to do with time travel. It's with some kind of like projection of like a copy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
which
It's
that's an interesting way to like. Oh shit, we
but
can't
it isn't like
reproduce. Well, we have
a
to clone
projector.
ourselves.
It's like literally creating another physical thing
Yeah,
with a limited lifespan. It
but
is
yeah,
interesting.
the Argolians are interesting. And all that.
What do you think of their head marbles that fall off as they get closer to death?
It's fine. What did you think about it, Ben?
I don't know. I was weird. I mean, I suppose it is literally alien. It feels like weird and gross. Cause what is that flesh? It's a little flesh bean, flesh pod falling off. But definitely a unique design. I think it works here.
Yeah, no, the design of them is fantastic. I shouldn't say fantastic, but it's good. It's better than a lot of the sign designs that we got in the Graham Williams era. And like
Indeed.
the hair makeup is very good.
Oh yes.
And then of course then we have
And
the
the
Famasi.
body paint is much better than some other ones we've seen.
What did you think of the Famasi, Ben?
Plot wise, an interesting twist non monster. Design wise, Eh. I think earlier in the parts, we see like some close ups of some hands and like their eyes. I thought like some of the eye shots where it's like twitchy and moving around like a reptile would didn't look bad. But once in like part 3, we see the full suit. Not great.
Oh no, it's terrible. Uh, I remember in particular, Michael Grade, who is the BBC head that killed Doctor Who, was on like a reality TV show, not reality TV, so sorry, a late night TV show, where he was getting interviewed, and like the interview basically was like, "Hey, you killed Doctor Who." And then I remember one of the examples of why he killed Doctor Who was the pharmacy. It was just like, why would we have this cheap thing on BBC? It's terrible looking. Look how bad the
Mhm.
special effects are. And the pharmacy, it could be used as one of those examples, of just like, what the fuck is this show doing?
You really think it's that bad?
Like, it's just, I don't think it's that bad, but it's just it's goofy looking, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem with it.
At least they don't
It's one of those things of
try
like,
and have like mouth movements. It's very specifically a voice synthesizer so that they can do voiceover.
I it's like one of those decisions of why would you ever to think, oh yeah, the BBC could pull off a bug creature man thing? It's like, no, don't even try to do that. Have it be a little
Is
bit
it
more
better than the
humanoid.
Wern?
It's a little bit better. But again, we're talking like 6 years, 7 years.
Probably not 6 times more budget though.
No, no. Uh but yeah, I did love Pot Three's cliffhanger. It's really goofy. We'll get into that when we get to the cliffhangers. But I loved at the end of that, the next episode, when the guy just spits out like the translator thing, and the other from Aussie just takes it and just is now starting to use the translator. I found that bit to be pretty amusing.
Mhm.
And it's cool that like we don't really get that in Doctor Who a lot, that a creature has to use it like a translator, because of course the TARDIS should be able to translate their language, but I guess in this case even the TARDIS can't translate this insectoid sounds
I
into
feel
speech.
like it should be able to. Like
Oh yeah.
the Menoptera and the Zarbi in the web planet, they could. That was probably insect sounds. Actually, wait, it couldn't do the Zarbi, it could only do the Menoptera. So maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, like I mentioned, I enjoyed. Once we decided to once it started to reveal more of the pieces of the the rivalry between the two factions, and of course hearing Pangol's plan, that's when I thought the story became more enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
Uh, and I liked how big it got in the fourth act, not the fourth act, but the fourth part. There's you could say the third act of the story got pretty big. That like no, Pangol has a pretty big plan. Where sometimes in Doctor Who, it's like, especially in the Graham Williams era, I felt like the villains weren't like the stakes weren't clearly uh demonstrated, so I really didn't care. But I felt like the stakes here were very present, which made me enjoy this story um for the most part. So yeah, Ben, do you want to get to cliffhangers? Do you have any more thoughts to say about the Leisure Hive, except for it's fun?
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. It's fun. A good start. Feels very different. So cliffhangers, Cam. First one, the doctor enters the tachyon generator. We see a reptilian hand mess with the controls, and we see the doctor's tachyon image ripped apart limb from limb, and we zoom in into the doctor's open, screaming in pain mouth.
A great cliffhanger. Iconic cliffhanger.
Yes. Two, uh, the doctor goes into the tachyon generator again as part of a test punishment thing. Uh, thinking it's gonna de-age him, but instead he comes out an old man.
Another solid cliffhanger.
And the third one, uh, we have Famasi approach uh, the this seemingly human Brock, who's been trying to get the what's the species? The Argolians to sell their planet. Um, and he screams. The Famasi rips his face off, and it's a mask, and he's a Famasi as well.
Very funny
And we
cliffhanger.
have screaming and pain, and the music swells. Um, so I think this is one of the rare times where all three cliffhangers are pretty damn good.
The third one, it's debate. I think it's so bad it's good, in my opinion. That third one. Or do you think it's just good?
I think it's just good.
Interesting.
But I think I the best one here has to be the first one.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But the second one for most stories would still be is still a solid cliffhanger. For most stories, would probably would be number one.
Yeah,
Because like we talk about, like that's a status change of the story. It's like, oh no, that's gonna affect the whole story.
yeah,
And it's one that like it's not like it's not like the doctor just went back to the machine and got young like in 5 seconds.
yeah. It's not one that they resolve within the first 30 seconds. That's something he has to deal with now. Which the way they resolve it is kind of strange. Where he's in the tachyon generator, and the pangolin clones are actually doctor clones, and they all disappear except for one of them, who's young. So Romana says, "Well, you're probably the original," and they don't address it, which I feel like there's some ambiguity there. Is this the doctor? Is this a tachyon clone?
And just wait, Ben. That's gonna be the next like Morbius when they brought back the Morbius doctors. They're gonna bring back that plot line. The next showrunner is
Yeah,
gonna be like, I really want to know how that mystery
they left
resolved.
the old doctor behind. He's still on our goal list.
Hashtag not my doctor. Ever since Peter Davison.
That'd be crazy though. Yeah. So first one is the best.
Yes.
Really iconic. So Cam, it's time. How would you rate this episode?
See, I think I like the Sunmakers a little bit better than this. Uh,
Going all the way back there.
so I'm gonna go 7.4. Still a solid story, but I don't think it's as good as the Sunmakers.
Better than Destiny of the Daleks?
Oh yeah, by far. I think I do prefer Stones of Blood, which I also gave. I know I gave that a 7.8. So yeah, I say 7. I enjoyed Stones of Blood more than this story.
I'm gonna give it like a 7.6 for an average rating of 7.5. It's good.
Amazing,
Not as good as Stones of Blood, but
but still
pretty
a solid story.
solid, very solid.
Which 7.5 I would say is pretty much the definition of a solid story. So
Yes,
that
that
makes
is
sense.
like that's a passing grade.
Yeah,
And talking about the polls, of course, Doctor Who magazine has done several polls ranking all the stories of each Doctor's era. This one is interesting. I'm gonna do it in the reverse order as we usually do. Uh, the first time they did it was 1998, and it got 24th, which is almost at the halfway point of
mm,
out of 41. Um, and then 2009, 2014, and most recently in 2023, it got 32nd place.
makes
So it's
sense.
pretty consistent with a big jump down in the 2000s, which
And
I
then in
wonder
2014, when the last time they did the oh, yep,
that
sorry,
would be after the DVD came out. So
yeah.
you were saying?
And then, of course, 2014, the last time they did the full poll, it ranked number 174th. So in between Aliens of London / World War III and The Chase.
Isn't Aliens? Isn't that Ninth Doctor
Yeah.
and the Chase? Chase is below this.
Yes.
Damn, I think the Chase
Ben,
is way
you're in the
better.
minority. That you love The Chase. You're in the minority, Ben. Most
What
people,
other
I think,
story do we get to see Frankenstein lift a Dalek over his head and smash it down?
but I think it's the it's like I think a lot of the time it's the same reason why you love the Time Monster, and I think some people don't like the Time Monster. Is that like you're okay with the silliness of Doctor Who, and then some people very much want Doctor Who just to be not Graham Williams. They want it to be just a Hinchcliffe era where it's just Doc and Moody.
I think there needs to be both at the same time, or like not in the same episode, but like
Yeah,
ideally, you shouldn't go seasons and seasons of just one of those. It should be
yeah.
sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's serious.
Which is why I think, like again, talking about how much we've raised about the Hinchcliffe era enough, but the Hinchcliffe did do a good job of doing,
Yeah.
uh, which we'll see how much we're gonna get that in John Nathan Turner's run
We will see.
and beyond. So join us next week for Meglos, whatever the hell you pronounce it. Uh,
Have
I
a
heard this
wonderful
one's not supposed to be good, man. So
We will see. Bless you.
thank you. And with
We
that, have a good night, everyone. Peace
have a
out.
wonderful rest of your day.